So, dear students, hope you all are doing well. And today I will talk about our pituitary gland, its structure and function. Okay, so the pituitary gland is the important endocrine gland of our body. We also know it as master gland and called hypophysis also. It dangles from the base of the brain like a pea on a string. এটা সুতোর মধ্যে একটা পুঁতি ঝুলিয়ে রাখলে যেরকমটা লাগবে দেখতে, একেও দেখতে ঠিক একই রকমের মনে হয়। It's the smallest gland and of pea size. It's just located beneath the base of the brain, just behind the bridge of nose, and lies in the hypophyseal fossa of or sala turcica of the sphenoid bone and attached with the hypothalamus by pituitary stalk. Okay, so its size is 0.5 gram in human and 1 centimeter in diameter. So the pituitary gland is a rich source of various chemicals that play a key role in our body's function and regulate other endocrine gland of the body through its hormones. Physiologically, it has two parts or two lobes. One is anterior pituitary or adenohypophysis and the other one is posterior pituitary or neurohypophysis. Between these two, pars intermedia is present, which is also a part of anterior pituitary. It is very small or almost absent in human but large and more functional in lower animals. Okay. The anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary both are situated in a very close approximation in the body, but they are different in their development, structure and function. So coming to the development part, our anterior pituitary is ectodermal in origin and arises from the pharyngeal epithelium as an upward growth known as Rathke's pouch. It has no neural connection and directly receive blood from hypothalamus by hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal system. Okay. Whereas our posterior pituitary is of neuroectodermal origin, means originated from primitive neural tissue. Okay, and arises from the base of diencephalon as a downward diverticulum known as infundibulum. Okay, now the Rathke's pouch and the downward diverticulum from hypothalamus meet midway between the roof of buccal cavity and a base and the base of the brain. They meet at the midway between the roof of buccal cavity and the base of the brain, and thus the pituitary structure is formed. See here, this is the Rathke's pouch and our neuroectoderm and oropharynx ectoderm both meet together, and oropharynx part give rise to the sphenoid bone portion also, and the neuroectoderm and the Rathke's pouch both meet and form the pituitary structure. Okay. Now coming to the anatomical part. See, our anterior pituitary part has three parts. Again, the pars tuberalis, pars intermedia and pars distalis. Whereas our posterior pituitary part has infundibulum, and pars nervosa. Okay, now let's move toward our anterior pituitary part. Anterior pituitary or adenohypophysis, which is found at the floor of the brain, called sala turcica. This loop is connected to the hypothalamus by portal blood vessels, through which a group of regulatory hormones passes from the hypothalamus. Okay, these regulatory, releasing or inhibitory hormones regulate or coordinate the adenohypophysis to initiate or suppress the production of specific hormone. Now, the pars distalis part of this adenohypophysis contain sinusoid capillary, degranulated chromophore cells, large granulated chromophil cells. So, these chromophore cells do not possess any granules. They are degranulated and stain very poorly. They are not secretory in nature but are precursors of chromophil cells and comprises of 50% of total cell in anterior part. Okay, so now next I am coming to the chromophil cells. Okay, they are of two types and comprises of 50% of anterior pituitary. They contain large number of granules and darkly stained cells. Okay, so they are again of two types, based on staining property and based on secretory nature. So based on the staining property, they are acidophilic cells or alpha cells, which form 35% of the total chromophilic cells, and basophilic cells or beta cells that form 15% of the total chromophilic cells in the anterior pituitary part. Okay, and based on secretory nature, we have somatotrophs that are also acidophilic in nature, which secrete growth hormone. Then are corticotropes, which are basophilic in nature, that secrete adenocorticotropic hormone. Then thyrotropes that are also basophilic in nature, which secrete thyroid stimulating hormone. Then gonadotropes that are basophilic in nature, which secrete follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. And again the lactotropes, which are acidophilic in nature and secretes prolactin hormone. Okay, pars intermedia presents colloid filled vesicles of unknown function, and it also has basophilic cells which secrete melanocyte stimulating hormone. Normally orange G or eosin dyes are used as acidophilic stain here, and periodic acidic chafe as basic stain to record the tissue section. Okay, next moving towards our posterior pituitary part. So our posterior pituitary part, it is smaller than the anterior loop, and it stores only two hormones that are secreted by the hypothalamic neurons and release these two hormones only. So posterior lobe is divided into pars nervosa and infundibulum. Pars nervosa contain unmyelinated axons, neurosecretory herring bodies and pituitary that are specialized glial cells. Okay, Generally, molary trichome stains are used to stain the herring bodies. Okay, see the neurons approaching towards the pars nervosa part of neurohypophysis. Okay, as we know that posterior part does not secrete any hormone by its own, so the bodies of cell that secrete the posterior pituitary hormones are located in the hypothalamus, called magnocellular neurons, that are located in the supraoptic and paraventric nuclei of the hypothalamus, which synthesize the posterior pituitary hormone. Okay, next we are moving toward the regulation of secretion. See here, if we draw a diagrammatic structure of tissue section of pituitary gland, it will look like this, and if we focus in our microscope, we'll see the sections are like that only. Okay, now coming to the regulation of secretion part, we have hypothalamo-hypophyseal relationship. Here the hypothalamus control the anterior pituitary by secreting, releasing or inhibitory hormone or factors called neurohormones that are transported to anterior pituitary through hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal vessel. Okay, some specialized nerve cells present in various parts of the hypothalamus send their nerve fiber or axon part to median eminence and tuber cinerum and release the hormone into the median eminence. Okay, nerve fiber axon median eminence পাঠাচ্ছে ওদের সিগন্যালগুলো এবং median eminence রিলিজ করছে ওদের হরমোনগুলো. From here the hormones are transported by blood vessel. Okay, that blood vessels are hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal blood vessels, large network capillary vessels to anterior pituitary part, where they either inhibit or stimulate the hormone release process. Okay, now the posterior pituitary hormones synthesized in hypothalamus are transported in the exoplasm of the neuron, and the nerve fibers passing from the hypothalamus to the posterior pituitary gland carry the hormones in pars nervosa portion. Okay, এই যে নিউরনস গুলো আছে সুপ্রাঅপটিক এবং প্যারাভেন্ট্রিক নিউক্লিয়ার মধ্যে, এরা সিনথেসাইজ করছে এখানে হরমোনগুলোকে, তারপর থ্রু দেয়ার নার্ভ ফাইবার্স ওরা এগুলোকে সেন্ড করছে নিউরোহাইপোফাইসিস পোর্শনে, যেখান থেকে নিউরোহাইপোফাইসিস রিলিজ করে হরমোনগুলো। ও তো নিজে কিছু বানায় না, ডাইরেক্টলি হাইপোথ্যালামাস থেকেই ওর হরমোনগুলো আসে। নাও হিয়ার ইজ এ লিস্ট of some releasing and inhibitory hormones secreted by the hypothalamus, which act actually on our anterior pituitary portion. First one is growth hormone releasing hormone, that is GHRH, which stimulate the release of growth hormone. Then growth hormone releasing polypeptide GHRP, which stimulate the release of growth hormone as well as the release of growth hormone releasing hormone. Then the thyrotropic releasing hormone, which stimulate the release of thyroid stimulating hormone. Then the corticotropin releasing hormone CRH, which stimulates the release of adenocorticotropic hormone. Then the gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH, which stimulates the release of follicular stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone. Then the prolactin inhibitory hormone, which inhibits the secretion of prolactin hormone. Next one is the hormones secreted by our pituitary gland as a whole. Our anterior pituitary hormone secrete thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, growth hormone, gonadotropic hormone, prolactin, melanocyte stimulating hormone. Whereas our posterior pituitary part only secrete antidiuretic hormone and oxytocin hormone. The thyroid stimulating hormone targets thyroid gland. The adrenocorticotropic hormone targets the adrenal cortex. The growth hormone targets our bones and muscles. Gonadotropic hormones targets testes in males and ovary in females. Prolactin hormone targets the mammary gland. The melanocyte stimulating hormone targets the skin portion, and the antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin targets the kidney tubules, and oxytocin hormone targets the muscles of uterus. Okay, so here the hormones of anterior pituitary with their functions. First one is our growth hormone, which stimulates the growth of bones and muscles and organs by increasing protein synthesis. It also affects the protein, fat and carbohydrate metabolism. Okay. And next one is our thyroid stimulating hormone, which stimulate the thyroid gland to secrete thyroid hormone, which also stimulate the growth and activity of the thyroid gland. The next one is our adrenocorticotropic hormone, which stimulate the adrenal cortex to secrete a hormone called glucocorticoid. Okay, the next one is our prolactin hormone, which targets our mammary gland and stimulate the production of milk during pregnancy. Okay, and next one is gonadotropins. We have luteinizing hormone, follicular stimulating hormone, interstitial cell stimulating hormone as gonadotropin. First one is luteinizing hormone. In females, luteinizing hormone stimulates the release of ovum by the ovary. Okay. After ovulation, it stimulates the corpus luteum formation and progesterone secretion also. In males, it stimulates the testes to secrete testosterone. Sometimes it is also called that interstitial cell stimulating hormone, which also target the testes and control the secretion of testosterone. The next one is our follicle stimulating hormone, which stimulate spermatogenesis process, that is the production of sperm cells in testes, and in female stimulate the maturation of ovarian follicle and secrete estrogen by the ovary. Okay, so these are the hormones of our anterior pituitary gland. And next one is the hormones secreted by our posterior pituitary gland. These are antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin, which target the kidney or arterioles. It stimulates the reabsorption of water from digestive system and reduction of urine secretion. It also stimulates the constriction of blood vessels and thus increases the blood pressure of our body. Okay, the next one is oxytocin hormone, which targets the uterus as well as the mammary gland. The oxytocin hormone stimulates the contraction of uterine muscle during labor and initiate the ejection of milk from the mammary gland in female after delivery. Okay, so these all are the hormones secreted by the anterior pituitary gland and posterior pituitary gland with all their functions. You can also check various books, various online materials, and you can also ask me in need. Okay, the next one I have incorporated here is the pituitary gland disorders. The first one is our pituitary tumors. Generally, these tumors are non-cancerous in nature, but they often interfere with the release of pituitary hormones and create pressure in the areas of brain, leading to vision problems, headache, etc. Sometimes these tumors also formed due to some brain hemorrhage, some accident. Okay, next one is hypopituitarism. This condition causes our pituitary gland to produce very little or no amount of its hormone. Okay, so this can affect our growth and our reproductive system function. So hyposecretion of this pituitary hormone, especially that growth hormone, leads to dwarfism, which affects our bone and muscle growth. Next one is acromegaly. In this condition, our pituitary gland produces too much of growth hormone and leads to excessive growth, especially of our limbs, that is our hand and feet, and sometimes are termed as gigantism. Okay, next one is diabetes insipidus. This is a very well known disorders. We all know about this. This can be caused by a problem with insufficient release of vasopressin or antidiuretic hormone. As a result, people with this condition pass large amount of heavily diluted urine, and affected individuals generally excrete as much as 20 liters of urine per day. Next one is our SIADH, that is SIADH, syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone secretion. It is a condition where the body retains water instead of excreting it normally in the urine. Okay, so here in this case, this retention of water in the body causes imbalance of minerals and electrolytes, especially sodium in the body, and sometimes it causes nausea, vomiting, weakness and fatigue, etc. Next one is Cushing's disease. It is a condition that leads to easy bruising, high blood pressure, weakness, and pituitary gland when released the extra amount of adrenocorticotropic hormone, and it causes this Cushing disease with high blood pressure, weakness, weight gain, etc. The next one is hyperprolactinemia. Okay, this hyperprolactinemia is a condition where blood contains an unusually high amount of prolactin. This can lead to infertility and a decreased sex drive. Okay, this was all about the pituitary gland disorders. You can also search it in internet also, and in various books. Go through all the books, make notes, and in any necessity you can ask me. That's all for today, and this is a big thanks to all of you from being. Okay, bye.